your own passion and skills, your heart and your mind. I'm currently based in Dubai. I was born and raised here. I've been working in the financial markets for about 15 years, pretty diversified within the financial sector in commodities, bonds, treasury investments, wealth management. And currently, just have had a slight transition to the other side, which is away from the financial sector, and it's more towards social development initiatives. And those programs that I'm basically involved with include gender diversity and empowering the youth and educational setups within Pakistan, Nigeria, and Jordan, and trying to work on cultural identities and democracy within these countries. It's really not as aligned with my financial career, but somehow my career has always been towards aligning, having an impact on the work I'm doing and serving the underserved markets, or people who haven't had the opportunity of having equal access. The first choice that I made was to disagree and challenge the status quo and debate the current status as how things are going. And when you do that, you're actually creating change, and you're actually creating a lot of conflict and how you manage that conflict. And that goes from both my personal and professional end. Not many people from the culture I belong from actually went into a male-dominated career. And they didn't pick up those choices, and the society would have a lot of pressures during that. So I guess that was somewhat, it created who I am today, even work-wise and personally as well, where I've actually just stood up and, the idea of just challenging the status quo and disagreeing with how things are currently and creating the new normals. So that's something that kind of gives that to me back till date. When I wanted a career into banking, the segment I went into was Freasury and investments. Walking into that segment is very, very male-dominated till now, till this date. There are very few women who are taken into those jobs, and they just consider it to be, these are much more serious jobs, and women are not supposed to be here. So that kind of questions like, are you questioning a woman's talent or her skill set? And are you not giving her credibility for her skill set or potential she already has, because you've already labeled, or these are more serious jobs and women are not allowed in this segment. So those were areas that I had to stand up, take those challenges in fact. And then it took me a long time, it took me about 5 years to really let people give me credibility for the skill set that I have. And not be just said, maybe she's getting around just being lucky every time with the decisions she's taken and the market favored her. But it was more of okay, she's just gotten lucky this time around and it wouldn't really happen. But it takes a lot of courage and time to get there. And I still remember the days I stepped in and into a meeting room with 400 people, which is the Financial Markets Association, and a table of 10 women sitting in between that pool of 400 men. What choices do you have? And for me, I didn't choose to go and sit and join that table of women who were already deliberately self-excluding themselves. I chose to go and connect with people, and I think that's where you're challenging the status quo. Well, that's where you're actually creating a conflict, maybe, and that's creating a change. 3 things that really drive me are having a much more social, inclusive environment, and I stand against all social inequalities, and I want to bridge gaps. Those are not easy to do. A lot of times, a lot of social inequalities come in between, and even while we're working in a very diverse environment, not many people look at diversity as diversity. They still package people for the race, gender, ethnicity they belong to, and that is how it is in today's world. I know we call it as universal and as diverse as we like it to be, but again, that is one problem that I do see, that the diversity is not really as as it should be. It's not as universal as it should be. In the sense that, when we talk about diversity, we want to talk about people carrying their cultural confidence and identities and not being part of the larger group and not becoming very nationalistic and restricting themselves from that. So each person bringing their cultural confidence in is bringing the diversity in as well. And how that bridge gaps in connecting people and creating powers. And those powers actually give you the potential for, empowering individuals for sustainability. And I think even in work-wise, this is how, the collective leadership and the consultative leadership doesn't really go anywhere till that diversity doesn't merge into a more universal diversity. You create an alignment between your own passion and skills, your heart and your mind, and, take your vision along with that, and just, you'll find yourself being in a career which is aligned with your own passion and your skills. And it gives you that sense of fulfillment that is what you need to achieve at the end of the day. You might have a great job satisfaction, but you still don't have a sense of fulfillment. And that only comes when you can create an alignment between your skill set and your passions of what you would like to do or what your goal in life is. And I think that also comes in time, that you need to discover that. You need to explore what your goals in life are. You need to get a greater clarity of what your goals in life are. And that sometimes just comes with reinforcing some of the basics and understanding, the key understanding is that what is it that you want to achieve in life, and what is it that connects you and makes your life more fulfilling. So at the end of the day, I would just say it's really about creating an alignment between your passion and your skills. And I think there's a constant learning. I mean, we're in a world of random occurrences, and we'll keep seeing, constant changes in life and unforeseen changes. So it's also about really learning, unlearning, and relearning some of the basics that we've learned. Don't shut yourself out to your own genius that resides within you. And you have to start treating yourself as you already are what you want to be. And that kind of gets you to where you need to get in life. If you need to create an impact, it's not just about, so these leadership initiatives are supposed to leave a legacy. So even if you're not there, once you do an initiative and you leave it on its own, you have to create and leave a legacy for that to keep going on and for that to be sustainable.
Wow.